Barbarians are really cool. They're a fantastic melee class with a fair amount of health, and with unarmored defense, they can take a hit. They're also super simple, so they're a great way for new players to come in and learn the game. They've always been kind of popular because of their tankiness, but they've been gaining in popularity over the last couple of years thanks to a certain actual play podcast. And I think that's great. However, with the new player's handbook scheduled to come out later on this year, September, I believe 13th of this year, don't quote me on that, there's going to be some changes to just about everything in the player's handbook. But today we're going to talk about the changes being made to the Barbarian. Now, keep in mind, these changes that I've got written down that we're going to go over here today are taken directly from the playtest notes from the most recent playtest, which is playtest number 8. These are subject to change. They're not guaranteed. However, when the new player's handbook comes out, we will be going over that. So for now, this is what to expect. This is most likely what it's going to be, or more than likely this is what it's going to be, or very close to it. So let's jump on in. At the first level in the 5th edition player's handbook, all you get is rage. Your rage lasts for 1 minute. It ends if you don't deal damage, receive damage, or as a bonus action, or if you decide to put on heavy armor for some reason. Don't know why you would. You've got unarmored defense. Throw away your heavy armor. Make money off it, whatever. You don't need it. You don't need it. Whereas with 1D&D, you get level 1 weapon mastery. Weapon mastery is really cool because it makes it so that you can constantly change your playstyle. And the reason I say that is because after a long rest, you can spend some time to do weapon drills. And when you do that, it changes what weapons you have mastery over, which can change your combat style. And it makes you a little bit more versatile, which is great because that was one of the few things that the Barbarians were lacking on, was versatility in and out of combat. That's where fighters kind of beat them out. Fighters are boring. I know I've said sorcerer's backstory are boring. Fighters are boring, full stop. But they don't need to be. We'll talk about that later. They've also got rage at level 1 because, you're a barbarian. You rage. You want to rage. You would like to rage. It's what barbarians do. However, it's a little bit better now. May not seem better right away, but it is. Trust me. It only lasts until the end of your next turn. I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. That's less than a minute. How is that better? Well, we'll get there. It ends early if you put on heavy armor, which once again, you're never going to do that. Or if you become incapacitated. Your health hits 0. That won't be a thing later on. Don't worry about it. It can be extended, though, by making an attack roll against an enemy. An enemy. It's very specific on its wording. I imagine it's like that for a reason. Forcing an enemy to make a saving throw. Or, just as a bonus action, my 30 movement wasn't enough. I couldn't get to an enemy, so my bonus action, I'm going to extend my rage. All right, cool. But you only do it for a maximum of 10 minutes. If your fight's lasting more than 10 minutes and it's not the BBEG, you've got issues. 10 minutes more than enough time. You do get all of your uses back after a long rest, just like, 5th edition. But, hang on. You get 1 use back after a short rest. That's 1 extra use that you wouldn't have gotten with 5th edition after a short rest. So, baby steps, right? That changes later on too. But first, at 3rd level, we get our subclasses. Subclasses are fantastic for any class, but for 5th edition, there's only 2. And I mean the Player's Handbook 5th edition, not everything else that came out after the Player's Handbook, just the Player's Handbook. There's Path of the Berserker. Okay, cool. Path of the Totem Warrior. Super cool. But then 1D&D, there's still Path of the Berserker. There's Path of the Wild Heart, which is essentially Totem Warrior with some minor changes. Path of the Wild Tree. And my personal favorite, Path of the Zealot. I have used that for some of my NPCs. It is a little broken, but so fun. If you've played Barbarian and felt it was lacking something in the past, I recommend making another one and playing Path of the Zealot Barbarian. It picks up a lot of what the Barbarian feels like it's lacking. I know it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a lot of fun. It does make you feel a little overpowered sometimes, though. Still heavily recommend it. You also get primal knowledge, which is cool. I guess it's not necessary, but it's cool. Um, at the 7th level, you get instinctive pounce. Now that does not replace feral instincts. Both players' handbooks have feral instincts. Don't worry, it's still there. Instinctive pounce is just another kind of attack that the barbarian gets, which once again, that's something that was lacking against some of the other melee classes. Like fighters got multi-attack by now, or extra attack by now. Paladins start off with divine smite. You know, it's just another attack type that you get, and it's really cool. At 9th level, 5th edition used to get brutal critical. Brutal critical lets you re-roll another damage die, and you had to take the new roll no matter what. That's cool. It's cool. Brutal instinct gives you new attacking types. You get forceful blow and hamstring blow at the 9th level, and at the 13th level, you get staggering blow, sundering blow. So a total of 4 new attack types. And at the 15th level, you get persistent rage. Persistent rage makes it so that when once per long rest, we'll say, when you roll initiative, you can get back all of your rage charges, which means if you are out of rages and you enter combat and you hear your DM, everybody roll initiative. All you have to say is, hey, DM, I want all my rage charges back with this initiative. As long as you haven't done it since your last long rest, all they can do is sigh deeply and go, all right, well, you get all your rage charges back and hope that they can deal with your raging barbarian. They probably can't. It's fine. And at the 17th level, you get another improvement to your brutal strike, which just increases the damage. Once again, super cool. An increase in damage is always cool. And then at the 20th level, which I personally have never seen anybody get a single class all the way up to level 20. I haven't seen it happen, mostly because unlike some DMs, I allow and actually actively encourage multi-classing. I've met some DMs that do not allow multi-classing, and I think that's mostly because they can't keep up with the new damage output of all of their players having stuff from multiple classes. I disagree with them. It's their table to run however they want. They want to be boring, fine, whatever. However, should you get up to level 20 as a barbarian, in Player's Handbook 5th edition, you got Primal Champion. Primal Champion is really cool because as soon as you hit level 20, you immediately get +2 to your strength and +2 to your constitution, even if you were already at 20. And it makes the new maximum for those two stats 24. So if you've got an item that increases those stats while it's equipped, while you're wearing like a ring that gives you +1 to strength, but it won't let you exceed the maximum, well, your new maximum is 24, so now you have 23 strength. You know, it's really cool like that. I personally feel like I haven't seen any DMs that allow those kinds of items or any type of way to externally permanently increase your stats or even temporarily increase your stats if they're not willing to multi-class, just because they're boring. But I haven't seen all DMs. There's a lot of good ones out there. I know that for a fact. I've met a lot of good ones. 1 D&D, if you manage to stick with the Barbarian for 20 levels, you still get Primal Champion, but now instead of a +2 to your Strength and Constitution, you get a +4, which that's a whole extra modifier, so it's already better. But also, your maximum Strength and Constitution now becomes 26. So you still have an extra 2 that you could potentially raise it with equipment or, you know, a blessing, whatever your DM would allow. You'd be at 24 out of 26. So, hey, have fun with it. I think that's great. It's obviously better than the old Primal Champion, but the old Primal Champion was great too. I think they're both kind of lackluster as far as an achievement for hitting the 20th level in Barbarian, but I can't think of anything else to make it better. So you get what you get. You do also get knowing that should you hit level 20 in any class, whether it be Barbarian, Wizard, Warlock, whatever, know that I am very proud of you for not only surviving that long, but sticking with the class long enough to reach that achievement. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not fun, but I'm proud of you. Now, like I said before, this is subject to change. Nothing's set in stone. This is more than likely going to be it. There might be some tweaks, but we'll touch on that when the Player's Handbook comes out later on this year. But remember, if you've learned anything at all from me today, remember to hit that subscribe button so I can teach you some more later. Thanks for watching.